So hello and welcome. My name is Katie, and I am here with Derek Van Otten. He is here with Peak Signing. He was nice enough to come on. I had done a podcast with him earlier,
Yes.
and he was nice enough to return the favor. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and thanks for coming on my podcast.
Yeah, I had a blast. It was a great experience. So I wanted to have you come on here just so that way we could talk a little bit about your experience as far as being a remote online notary and just kind of how that has gone for you so far.
It has been interesting, I'll say that, because and it's been fun. It's been interesting and fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy the fact that I could work right here from my home office.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy the fact that I could do it from my mobile office.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've enjoyed all of that. The
Uh-huh.
part that's been interesting is where it's like, hey, I need this done right away through Ron. And it's like, I'm not just sitting in front of my computer all day long.
Yeah.
I'm doing things. I have a life and I'm also
Mm-hmm.
doing things. And I'm also doing closings, regular loan closings, and with paper at a table. So
Yeah.
that's the interesting part.
Yeah, I know. Because sometimes when I ask people like, "Oh, how's it going with remote online notarization?" They're like, "It's great." And then there's always like a big but. And it's like, okay, there are some very, very nice pros and there are some cons of
Yes.
they do kind of, or just the general expectation is that once they contact you, they're like, okay, I'm sending it over right now. And I'm like, well, I'm not even at my office. Like, this is 8 o'clock at night, sir.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, I have noticed that. Do you have a system down for the tech part of it, like walking the signers through?
I do actually. So what
Hmm.
I do is I'll get on the phone, with them because I always tell my clients I still need their phone number, still, and then now I need their email address for sure.
Hmm.
And so I'll call them up and just do like an introduction, like, "Hi, my name's Derek, and have you done anything like this before?" Just to kind of get an idea. And 100% of the time it's been no, because it's so newish for people. So
Hmm.
100% of the time I'm getting the answer is no. I said, "That's no problem." I just kind of tell them, I said, "Have you ever signed documents online like DocuSign?" They say yes. I said, "Have you done like an online meeting like Zoom or Google Meet or anything?" They said, "Yeah." I said, "Basically, it's a hybrid of that. So we're going to be face to face on a computer, looking at each other on camera, but also we're going to be seeing documents where we're going to be signing and notarizing." They say, "Oh, okay, great." And I do a lot of biometric. Luckily, I'm in a state that allows biometric. So I like doing biometric. And I'll just say, "Okay, this is what's going to happen. Is you're going to scan your ID, and then you're going to scan your face, just like how you open up your phone if you have a face ID. It's going to be very similar to that. That's how I verify it's you. And then I'm also going to email you these same instructions as well. And then I have a template that I just copy and paste and I send them the email." The reason why I like doing that too is because it's so new to them. It might go over their heads. So I like sending them the email so they can follow along, but also just in case we have something wrong with the email, my email will give me notification. This email is not right. And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
great. Before we do this, Ron, I know their email is correct or not correct.
Yeah, that is that's almost what you have to do because with the technology, before I wasn't sending out like a little bit of an introduction and I wasn't calling the people.
Uh-huh.
And then what ended up happening is I would call them, I'd be in the session and they're like, okay, I'm sitting by the printer, what do I do? And I'm like, we don't need a printer at all. Like so it's not self-explanatory at all, as
No,
far
it's
as like,
not.
yeah, you really, it's an educational position as being a remote online notary.
It is.
100%. It's yeah, I would say probably the remote online notarization aspect is probably 10% or something like, and then the
You're
rest is
probably
just like
right.
education. Yeah, education prep. So you're on social media, do a really, really good job showcasing what it is that you do as a business because you run a signing service and
Yes.
also you're a remote online notary. I did see that you sometimes work with international clients. How has that been?
Yeah, that's been interesting as well and
Mhm.
fun as well.
Yeah.
Because I actually get to talk to somebody from somewhere else in the country and just
Mhm.
ask them questions like, "How's the weather where you're at?" And And what do you like to do out there? Why are you there? You're a U.S.
Mhm.
citizen, so why are you in this area, or why are you moving to the United States?
Mhm.
Because they're buying a house here and they have to buy it online first because they're still in their homeland. So
Mhm.
that's been fun. That has been fun talking with people from other countries. And the interesting part comes from, okay, what type of ID do you have? And I found
Yeah.
out there are some countries that we don't like their IDs. Some of the platforms don't like their IDs because there's a lot
Mhm.
of fraud happening in those countries. So I get that part.
Mhm.
And the other interesting part has been time, time zones.
Yes.
And I actually was just talking with my clients right now. They said, "Hey, one of our real estate agents are asking, how do we coordinate this? They're in I can't remember what country they said, but they're 9 hours ahead of us. So,
Mhm.
we're like, how does this work?" I said, "It actually just works exactly the same. We're gonna do everything the same, but now we have to kind of plan on time." And
Mhm.
so I have done a lot of closings at midnight, meaning now we're on the same day because it's midnight where I'm at, but it's 9 a.m. in the other country. So
Mhm.
that way, when they're signing and dating it for Tuesday, I can also say, okay, yeah, it's Tuesday where I am as well because it's now midnight. So I have done
Mhm.
a lot of midnight closings.
Well, you're a trooper because it's yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about it. Like I have a notary that I was talking to that was closing at like 6:30 at night, and I'm like, that's nice for people that are working like 9 to 5 and then they want to be able to make some income. So like that's a perfect example that is available. Um,
Yeah.
it just takes a little bit of finesse and probably some caffeine. Do you find yourself doing more closings or more remote online notarizations during the normal time periods, or do you err to the side of more night closings?
I would say during normal time periods. Yeah.
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 It's mostly people in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens, people in other countries, but it's nothing too crazy because maybe it's in South America or other parts of North America, like Canada, and so it's not nothing too crazy. It's like the Asian countries get a little difficult
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Have you had to do any where there's a translation service involved with your signing remotely?
Yeah, that's a great question. So not that we had to hire a translation service, but we use a translator.
Okay.
and and so I just tied them in as a on the platform. I just tied
Mm-hmm.
them in as a translator, just sent them the email link, and they were able to just be there. We haven't had to use a translation service yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we might. I'm sure we've come across some different languages.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was able to find people that speak those languages, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure at some point I might need something.
That was the other thing that I kind of wanted to highlight or like for any of the viewers that have people that are in foreign different countries. That's the nice thing about remote online notarization because let's say you have someone that only speaks um Arabic in a rural town or in a different country.
Uh-huh.
For the most part, it would be very, very difficult to get both a notary and someone that can translate in the same spot. But with remote online notarization, that's obviously something that's available. And I feel like it's opening a lot of different doors
Right.
for clients or just internationals that, English might not be their mother tongue. So this is just
Right.
a little bit, yeah, a
Power of
nice
the
option.
internet. Exactly.
So yeah. Um, so do you have anything that you can recall about fraud that you were able to prevent? Because I know that one of the biggest things that everybody is hung up on a little bit is the aspect of fraud through remote online notarization.
Yeah.
Have you run into any or have you been able to prevent any?
I have fortunately not been come across it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very fortunate about that. But I will say I have a story of someone, they lived in Congo and they were moving to the US,
Mm-hmm.
and their ID would not be accepted because it was from Congo. So they had to choose, like, where's your ID of origin from? And they wrote Congo, and
Mm-hmm.
they said, no, we won't accept it. And I had to verify. They said, yeah, because there's so much fraud happening from there, and they said there's a few countries like that. And luckily, the individual had another form of ID from another African country, and he was able to use that to do that.
Mhm.
And because I actually was able to see both of his Congo ID and the other country's ID, I was like, oh, this really is him actually. So I was able to kind of use that, and then he was able to still get on the Ron platform. So
Right.
so that was an interesting experience.
Yeah. I actually just had something come up with one of the notaries that I work with, and they do remote online notarization as a little bit of a service, but it's a little bit different. So they do the ID verification, and then they just have the signer sign something basically saying that they are who they say they are, like an
Okay.
affidavit. And that's for title companies that don't want to basically take on anything until they verify who they say they are.
Oh,
And so she said that it works out because as soon as the title company is like, hey, you just need to sign this paper with this notary in front of, the recording and everything like that, they back out and then they find out that it's
ah,
fraud.
yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's one way of verifying who's doing the vacant lot fraud, is, this is a different way around it. It's not
That's a pretty good one.
it I thought it was interesting because, like, especially in Florida, we have so much fraud, of people impersonating homeowners or vacant lot land that, these realtors or these title companies will start paying for information to be pulled and, like, oh,
Right.
pictures taken and everything like that, and then come to find out that that's not even a real person is
Wow.
unfortunate. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But I'm sure it'll continue to happen. So yeah, but I'm fighting the good fight with the
Good,
lenders and the
good.
underwriters. It's
Yeah, that's
like,
good. Shows your
yeah,
value. That's great.
yeah. I think that if anyone is kind of hesitant on even learning about remote online notarization, how
Oh, it's totally worth it. Yeah, it's another tool to your tool belt. It brings so much more value to your clients if you're marketing to directly or marketing with signing services. You're just bringing so much more value to you. Plus, why would you leave money on the table if that's going to be where we lead to or where it goes to more electronic? Why would you not at least stay ahead of the game on it a little bit as well? Like, get all the information you can from, even if it's not approved in your state. Even when it was not approved in my state, I was getting all the information I could from it, just so when it happened, I was ready to rock and roll. And I get orders every day for Ron. Every single day, I have an order for Ron that comes through, and my
Mhm.
clients wouldn't have known if I didn't even tell them about it, or if I wasn't even a Ron notary. Yeah, I mean, I'm making more money because I'm doing Ron.
The other nice thing is that, let's say you do have a client that last minute, at like, if you're an individual notary, if you have a client that last minute needs something at like 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
um, if you have your laptop with you, there's not really anything stopping you from being able to take that order. Even if you're, let's say you're at home and your kids are there and obviously you can't leave to go do a mobile, you could
yeah,
say, I'm not going to come out, first of all, at 8 o'clock at night. But second, I can do it remotely and we can do it right then. And then, you don't lose out on that. You don't lose out on that money. And then you can
right.
also gain that client and they're going to be appreciative. Um, and then the other thing that I wanted to point out is that we do have a partner program for ProNotary. So if you are in a state, that does not have remote online notarization capable, like, available to you, we have a partner program. So if you go to pronotary.com and then just the under partner program, you'll be able to see where we have incentives for if you bring on, clients or introduce them to us. So we want to thank you for doing that. So go over there and check us out because
Yeah,
it
that is
it's
cool.
yeah, yeah, and it's a way that you can kind of make passive income because if you're good at marketing or if you have people that are kind of in your space, you can give them our information. You don't have to sell them on it. That's my job. But definitely if you aren't in a state that has remote online notarization, partner with a notary that is. So reach
There you
out to
go.
Derek. Reach out to Derek if you
Yeah.
have, like, because then you can help, you can maybe give like a referral or anything like that, or just make a partnership in that manner. So don't leave money on the table if people are calling and asking you. Um, I wouldn't say no. I would just refer them to a different notary that would be able to do it remotely.
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
said that if something comes up at 8 p.m. and if you've had a long day and you just got home, we've all been there. We've been tired. We just got home. We want to be the family. Like, I don't want to go back out now. I don't want to start printing documents now. But
Yeah.
if you get like a wrong, you're like, I just go down. I just go to my office and just, yeah,
That's
just kind of tag them up real quick, and we
yeah.
can just do it. I can be wearing my t-shirt or whatever and just do it
Yeah.
right there on the computer. Sure. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not? I'm home.
I've had it where, I'll be out with friends or, like at a coffee shop and I'm like, okay, I can do this right now, but like it's not going to be my normal, super professional setting because you caught me at like 11 o'clock
Yes.
at night, like
Yep.
or, on a Sunday. So I kind of set that expectation, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It,
That's the
it
interesting part of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I've done, like, notarizations in my car, and it's like, "Okay, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
it it works out." Your signing company does do runs, so
Yeah.
how would someone go about starting to work with you?
Yeah. They can go to my website, peaksigning.com. And so they can go right there, and we have a section for notaries to sign up with us. And there's also links to my YouTube channel and my podcast if they want to do that as well. And we do talk about Ron on it once in a while.
Mhm,
And yeah, they can definitely go there and introduce themselves to me and my team. We have a team of three here that are scheduling and coordinating and working. And yeah, we'll be happy to talk to you, especially if when you introduce yourself though, let me give you guys some tips. So when you introduce yourself to me and my team or any other location, let us know like what platforms are you using? Let us know, are you able to do Ron anywhere in the world? Yeah, as long as well, obviously you have to do it in your state, but can you
yeah,
do it with anyone that's anyone in the world? What platform are you using? Are you bilingual or trilingual? Do you speak other languages? That will be very beneficial as well. So that's just some extra tips I'll give all of you for that.
yeah. Well, thank you. I think that that's super helpful because it's a little bit different, and I never really realized it until I started getting some emails of, like, "Hey, I'm a Ron, I can do this," and then, you know, it's good, but it doesn't really stand out unless they're like, "Hey, I'm a Ron, and I can speak Farsi, and I can,"
Yeah.
that's I'm like, "Okay, hi,
Yes.
let me talk to you." Mhm. So definitely toot your own horn when you are getting in front of
Yes.
these, yeah, definitely. And it feels a little bit uncomfortable at first, but I some of the signing services or some of the people don't know you from Adam, so you really have to advocate for yourself.
So
Um,
true.
but if you are on some of the different companies that will send out the work, make sure that you sign up for signing order and toggle that you are a Ron. Same with Notary
Yeah.
Dash. Yeah. Same with Notary Dash. You want to make sure that you are telling them that you can, like add in all of the work that you can do. So make sure that you toggle on that you're a Ron on Notary Dash too. So,
Yeah, actually a good point to for everyone to also update your profile, your bio and your profile. Like maybe put in your bio that you're also Ron certified and click on those because if you're not understanding what Katie's talking about, where you can say, I have a mobile scanner, I have a mobile printer, you can mark certain things.
mhm,
So that's what me as a signing service owner, I can go in and I can filter out people who are Ron, and I can also filter out languages they speak too. So make sure that's also updated too if you speak another language. And I can filter out like, okay, who's Iran? And do they maybe also speaks Mandarin or Farsi or Spanish or something like that? And
mhm.
okay, here we go. Now I can work with these people here. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great points.
Well, yeah, because I was on a call one time with a notary and we were talking about like working together and everything like that. And then I found out that she speaks Russian and I'm like, I shouldn't have to pull this out of you. You need to just
Right.
tell me right away, like it would be almost like, if you're in a desert and then someone's like, "Oh yeah, I have this whole jug of water." It's like, "Tell me that."
Yeah.
Tell me that. Because it really makes a lot of a huge difference. We are both part of the LSS. I've taken some of the courses, and then I know that you're an ambassador.
Yeah, the loan signing system course and the whole training course there and everything they have there is so unique and so awesome. There's a wealth of information there. And again, if you go to my website and you click on Notary Sign, there's actually a link there that you can click on to check out the course yourself. And if you're interested in it, you can take it. And it
Mhm,
not only talks about loan signings, but it talks about the entrepreneur mindset of it all, like how to be professional. And it also talks about other areas to make money as a notary. Talks about
mhm,
different aspects there. It's a Facebook group that you can be a part of, and there's just a huge community of people that can just help you out as well. You don't have to feel like you're alone. I remember when I first started, I felt alone. I
yeah.
was like, I don't know any other notaries. I don't know anyone else that does this. I felt so alone. Like, I'll figure it out. And then I
Yeah.
joined the community, and
Mhm.
that also was a huge benefit. Besides the training, the community was a whole other asset that I wasn't prepared for, and it's been so helpful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and anytime that I reach out to anyone that is in the LSS community, or anytime they're like, okay, I will tell you exactly how to do this, and I'm going to
Yeah.
help you with XYZ. So like they take it a step above, and okay, you're holding me a little bit more accountable than what I wanted, but like it's good because they really go above and beyond. Like I like the way that the mindset is as far as collaboration happens at the top.
Right.
Um, because I have seen some notaries that are like, I'm not going to share any of my secrets, like it's all mine. And
Yes.
that doesn't really, in the short term maybe, but in the long term, for like longevity of your business, there's going to be times where you do not know what to do. Um, and you might as well just like talk to someone that is a little bit ahead of you, or has already like, fixated on that specific area, and they know all about it, so you can just tap on community. So yeah, i I definitely liked that aspect of the LSS as well, so
And I like what you just said there. The collaboration at the top. It's
yeah.
it's usually the people at the bottom that are just trying to hold on to everything as much as they can. It's almost like a scarcity mindset, a victim
Mm,
mentality, and it's
yeah.
like, guess what? People want you to win. People at the
Mhm.
top want you to win. People who are successful want you to win. It's usually the people that are not so successful that want to bring everyone else down. Yeah.
How do we find you for more?
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is at Peak Signing. So peaksigning.com. All my social media is at Peak Signing. YouTube channel as well. And then also from my website, peaksigning.com, you can go to the podcast. You can go to all the social media links from there. Everything can go right from the website if you wanted to find us. We're easy to find.
If you're ready to take your notary business to the next level, check out how easy it is to integrate remote online notarization with ProNotary. Click the link below and see how you can streamline your processes today.